Hello and welcome. This is Angie with theCountryChicCottage.net. Today we're going to talk about organizing your craft supplies and 3 ways to make labels with your Cricut machine. And those can be used whether you're organizing your craft supplies or any other area of your home. Now, this video is sponsored by Michaels. However, all projects and opinions are my own. You can find everything we're using today at Michaels stores, and I'll drop all those links below so you can find them. So the top 3 projects we're going to do today use these 3 organizers. The first one is this Lazy Susan, so it turns all the way around 360 degrees. Some of the bins have areas for labels as well as drawers that open. Other sides have hooks where you can hang things, and then there is one side with elastic, so you can open that elastic up and like drop scissors or whatever else in there. Each section has 3 divided areas, so 1 large one in the center and then 2 for each section with 6 sections total. So lots of opportunities to organize all of your supplies in this wooden Lazy Susan from Michaels. Next up is these colorful organizing bins. Now each one of these has 7 drawers, and the best part of these for me is that they are stackable. So I can stack one on top of one another and kind of go higher with my storage, which makes that amazing in the craft room or any other room of your home. So think about bins like this or even this Lazy Susan for other areas of your home as well. Like this would be great in an office. These might be perfect in your kitchen cabinets to store maybe spices or things like that. So as we're going through this, think about outside of the box ideas for using these organizers in your home. The third organizer we're going to use are these tilt-out bins. Now each one of these has 4 bins total, but again, they're stackable. And let me show you, it actually has a rail, and you can put one of them inside of the other, and that rail actually locks those in place. And then each of these bins you can tilt out all the way out so you can access everything inside of the bin, or you can remove it if you need to. Now, you don't have to stack these, so you can use them just one, just by sliding them back. You can use just one instead of a stack of 2 or 3 or more, depending on what you need. Now, again, I'll link to all these organizing bins below. So 3 ways to make labels. We're going to talk about that first of all, and then we're going to organize some Cricut supplies in each of these. The first way to make labels we're going to talk about is on paper. So I'm going to use Cricut pens on paper, and we're going to make labels for the front of this Lazy Susan organizer. The second way we're going to talk about is printable vinyl, and we're going to make labels for these tilt-out bins. Now, the tilt-out bins did come with some paper labels. I'm going to use those to make the labels on my Cricut the exact correct size. The tilt-out bins also came with screws as well as wall anchors so that you can hang these on the wall easily. So I just wanted to note that for you. Then for these bins, we're actually going to make labels out of vinyl, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So no matter which way you make labels, you can use each of the 3 of these organizers to organize your Cricut supplies and other areas in your home. So let's get started making labels on our Cricut, and then we'll organize some Cricut supplies. I decided what I wanted in the bins of the Lazy Susan organizer. Then I designed labels in Cricut Design Space using the writing function and the rectangle shape. And now I'm applying white cardstock to my mat. Now I can add my mat to my machine. And I can press the C to write and cut my labels. Then once that's done, I'll just eject my mat. And let's take a look at those labels. I can now just remove these labels from the mat, each one individually. And then we'll take a look at the Lazy Susan itself, what I've put in it, and label each of the bins. So the first bin we come to is Cricut tools. I added all of my weeding tools, my scrapers in this back compartment, and in this bottom, I added the tips for the True Control weeding tool. You could also add like your craft knife blades in there or whatever you wanted to. And then I can just slip in the label that says Cricut Tools. So there we have Cricut Tools labeled and in our bin. In the center portion, I put scissors. This portion, I put paintbrushes. So the portions without labels that have something on the front, I tried to put something that you could tell by looking at it what it was. So paintbrushes was a good option here. And I hung these small pouncer brushes from the hooks on the front. So this area is for tools. I keep pliers for making jewelry. I keep like a small screwdriver in my craft room. I keep a couple of different hole punches. We can just add that label that says tools, and this bin is ready to go. This next bin, I put some leftover tools from this previous slot. So things like my tape measures are hanging on the front. I have a craft knife in here along with extra True Control blades and a few other tools in this back bin. This next area is for markers, and I'm going to label it for markers. So I actually had enough to fill up both bins with markers. This next area is with these great elastic bands, and I put a couple of my rotary cutting tools as well as my small Cricut scissors in there, and then some wood dowels as well as some craft sticks. So I use craft sticks a lot when I'm crafting because they're easy to grab and then toss because they're super inexpensive. And then we're back to the first bin that has the Cricut tools in it. So as you can see, my Lazy Susan organizer is all ready with my Cricut tools for my craft room. Now let's move on and look at making labels using Print and Cut. I'm going to use Cricut Printable vinyl for the printable version of our labels. So I have my printable vinyl sheet and I have some labels designed in Cricut Design Space. And now I will just print those on my regular printer using the app. Then I can add the printed sheet right to my Cricut mat face up. Then I've just set my material to printable vinyl and I can load my mat into my Cricut. Then just press the C to start cutting. Now let's unload and look at applying these to our organizer. So for these bins, we can just peel and stick these. So they're just like a sticker at this point. We can go ahead and remove the sheet from the mat and then peel each of the stickers. So the first bin is my infusible ink pens, and even the large ones fit in these. So the large freestyle pens even fit into these bins. So I have all of my infusible ink pens in one location. And I'm actually going to add the label to this front surface. We'll just stick it on there just like a sticker. Next up is my Cricut pens. Again, I'll just peel and stick the label. And the Cricut pens, I have a ton of those and all of them fit in my bin. So I'll tilt that out and show you just how many pens fit in there. Now next up is my Cricut Joy pens. I actually don't have as many of those as I do my other pens, but I'm planning on getting more, so I want to go ahead and make a bin just for those. And last but not least, so this can store all your Cricut supplies and other craft supplies as well. So this bin, I actually have my hot glue sticks and they actually fit in this way, so they all just drop in there. So super convenient for hot glue. So I'm just going to peel off my last label and add that to the front. And now I can keep going with that second organizer and stack them just like I showed you, or leave it as a single layer just like this and organize just these supplies. So now let's take a look at making labels out of vinyl for our last project. Next step is labels made with vinyl, and we just applied vinyl to this mat and designed some labels right in Cricut Design Space. So we'll just pick vinyl from our app and cut with our Cricut machine. We'll just add in our mat and start cutting our labels. Then once this is done cutting, we can remove it and we can weed all this vinyl. We'll just weed everything around the outside and the inside of these labels. All right, now that everything's weeded, for each one, we'll use a piece of transfer tape to get the vinyl onto the drawer. So just peel the transfer tape back, add it to the vinyl, and we'll just burnish it a few times and peel this backing paper back, leaving the vinyl on the transfer tape. And we'll set it down, burnish it, and just peel back that transfer tape. Then we can just repeat for all the other drawers. Then you can just gather up your scraps, drop them in the correct drawer, close it up, and your scraps are organized and ready for your next project. So add vinyl labels to this organizer to organize your scraps and so much more. Vinyl labels are super versatile. So head to Michael's, grab your Cricut machine, and get a little bit more organized with 3 different projects. So the first was to make labels with the pen and just regular cardstock for this Lazy Susan that is perfect for your craft room or any other room in your home. The second project was to use print and cut with your Explorer or your Maker to make print and cut labels for this organizer. And remember, this one stacks up, so you can go even higher with this one and stack multiple ones on top of one another, depending on the room you're going to use it in. And the final project was making labels with vinyl, and we made this cute scrap organizer. Think about this organizer for other rooms of your home as well. And remember, this one stacks as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll head down to the description below, get the links for all of these products at Michael's. While you're there, if you don't have a Cricut, it's perfect for organizing, and you can pick up a Cricut at Michael's while you're shopping. So thank y'all so much for joining me today. If you have any questions about anything we've covered today, please drop down to the comments section and ask those. If you love this video, learned something new, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have Cricut videos every week and you don't want to miss any of those. Thank y'all so much for joining me this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.